Coach's Corner post round 7. Welcome, Coach.
Welcome, BP. How are you, mate?
Going well. Nice start to the season, 7-0. The trip to South Belgrave, pretty fruitful on the weekend for the ones and the sons of the ones. Always nice to come home with a couple of wins.
Yeah, look, it's a super day up there, mate. History shows that Tempy and South Belgrave have had some big contests up there. They're hard to beat up there. Look, I know they're officially on the bottom of the ladder at the moment, but their list is still strong. I think they'll come in the last half of the year. They've had some headaches losing a coach. So we really respected the trip up there. Last year we only won by 7 points in the last couple of minutes. They were a finals team last year, and they've still got some quality players. So as I said, I think they'll upset and shape the 5 on the way home. But we really prepared well on the weekend. We knew they'd bring some heat, and we really prepared very well on the weekend and came out of the blocks nicely.
For those that weren't there, just give us your take, just individually and collectively. Obviously a great start, a huge third quarter onslaught with the 15 goals, but what sort of impressed you the most over the weekend?
Yeah, look, it was super. First of all, the Sons of the Ones were outstanding. So I only saw the first quarter and a half, and I just felt on a small ground they probably weren't playing the small ground well enough, and Trevor's all over that. They just weren't getting the numbers at the contest. They weren't blocking and protecting, and they were all sort of spreading and wanting one player to win the footy. But sometimes on a small ground you've got to get numbers around the ball. Trevor's all over that at half time, straightened them up, got them going with the game plan. You still have to play the game plan even on a small ground. Even though a bigger ground suits us, you've still got to take it on and play that modern style of play, at high risk, high reward footy. And in the last half, which I didn't see on all reports, they were just outstanding. So that was pleasing. And when the Sons of the Ones play our style of play, they are very hard to beat. So that was an outstanding start for us. Then in the first quarter, mate, it was 7 goals, 5, I think, to 3 points. Just a super start. We were strong, we were hungry, we were aggressive, we had numbers at the contest, we were gang tackling, and all the signals were there that we were really up and about. We were sharp, really sharp with all our skills and kicking and execution. And to get 7 goals was a great start. Funny enough, the second and fourth quarter we couldn't score, and neither could they going down the other end. We can't quite work that out. But anyway, in the third quarter, mate, very special moment. In 30 minutes, we kicked 15-5, and that's rare, brother. That's rare. I've certainly never been part of that. The 12-goal quarter at Park Orchards, I thought was very special. But the 15-5 third quarter was just unbelievable. It was game plan, just everything just worked. Everything you trained for and practiced for, it all just clicked. And and in the last quarter, we had 4 off. We didn't have any rotations, and we're outscored 5-5 to 1-5. But at the end of the day, we'd worked really hard, and we had no rotations. And Simon Harris was crook, and he was really starting to take its toll. He was sick on the day with a bit of gastro, and I was very proud of the boys. That was a super win. To win by 17 goals, 3 to be exact, up at South Belgrave, it shows that we're really up and about. Just
overall, Coach, 7-0 the seniors, Sons of the Ones 6-1. Obviously, there's a fair bit of depth, plenty of players hungry to be part of some success. How are you just assessing the whole sort of list at the moment? And obviously, there are plenty of players who would be eager to play some ones footy, and you've got a sort of healthy problem to have, I suppose, at selection.
Mate, that's our strength right now. I think we've made a shift at the footy club, and Trav. And Danny, who's helping out Trav this year, and all the coaches need to be congratulated. We're in real development headspace at the moment. I think, to be honest, the last couple of years we were probably in win mode in that Sons of the One space, and there were certain players that weren't striving for seniors. There were certain players that didn't want to let the Sons of the Ones down if they left them. And we've made a big shift there. We're all one. There's a lot of love at the moment around the club. We had a great function that Ryan ran on the weekend, and Chock said to me, "Have a look at the love in the room, Coach." And you could really tell the boys are all one. We are a real group. Players are actually all striving for seniors. Our depth is very strong. There's still half a dozen players that want to come back eventually, although 2 or 3 of those won't return, with Ryan and Adrian and Al. But there's certainly blokes like Quinny and Fia and Red starts in a couple of weeks, and a bloke called Lee Murphy and a bloke called Stephen Shilton. These are names that people forget, and they're still in the background. And the most positive sign is that in the next month, The last 4 of those sort of blokes will probably return. And it's very healthy at the moment because players that are coming up from the Sons of the Ones, 1, deserve it, and 2, are holding their own beautifully. And you need to be on top of your game in the seniors. And we've sort of made this statement that if you're great in the ones, you'll hold your spot. If you're good, you're in danger because we've got players playing great footy underneath in the Suns, and they're all hungry to play the Suns. So that's what I call a real development space. Players, in my eyes, are playing better than they have in the past. A guy called Jeff Theobald, who unfortunately was injured, was flying early in the year, and you could name so many players, the Zuis and these players, and the Kirbys and the Tom Mays and the the Ollie Lodge and the Matt Nagels and the Nick Worthings and the Rowan Peters. These blokes are all playing, I believe, as good a footy as I've seen them at the club, and that's a really healthy space. What we have to do is make sure that we continue to develop these players, perhaps rolling them around in different positions so that when they get to seniors, they're able to do what we expect them to do, and that is to play in multiple positions and be flexible. Another guy, Jack Price, for example, I watched him train Thursday night and I just couldn't take my eyes off him. He just looked confident up and about, and Jack only needs a month of good footy and he'll be knocking on the door as well.
And just a word as we look ahead to this week, a sort of mouth-watering clash really. Upper Gully, I know you've been keeping a close eye on them. They're certainly the biggest contender, 7-0, back on our home turf at the Wharf. I suppose we get a fair idea this weekend how 1 and 2 stack up.
Absolutely, and that's for both games. They're very strong. They had a 20-goal win in their reserves on the weekend, and they had a very, very strong win in the seniors as well. They're thumping sides, and we've been having big wins against sides. So the stage is set. They've got a very powerful junior club underneath them, strong 19s. So they've got. The word is they've got some really good young talent out there, and it's game on. I think it's going to be a EFL round game of the round, and out of 44 teams, I always say if your club's the game of the round, that's a credit to the whole footy club. Where we're positioned right now, so it'd be great to have the AFL van out there, and we'll be ready. I can tell you that now, BP. We'll be ready. We're in good shape, and we're playing good footy.